Hey, it's Daddy Steve. Please like and subscribe. Please, please click on the Deck Heroes icon. Please click on subscribe. 100% free. Do it now before we forget. 100% free. Well, apart from blood in, blood out. This is another vital video. This one's on the Heart's Desire event during KVK and the use of sovereign keys. We got two competing things that we need to think about. I've watched my old video. I had 230 odd videos. I ended up with 85 keys at the end of it, following the strategy of trying to hold on to as many keys as possible. Obviously, you use 200 keys in this event towards this task. Season challenges in KVK, in order to get these 200 kind of experience points. That's one of the main points that we want to do. So we're going to spend definitely 200 keys. So in the last video, in the last KVK, I should have ended up with 35 keys at the end of it. I ended up with 80 odd keys. From those 85 keys, I ended up with, in this KVK right now, right today, and right in this video, 243 keys. So I managed to generate about 100, just short of 160 additional keys, and that's important to note, right? In part one of that video, because we can do 100 at a time, I only aimed to hold on to the keys. That's so when the next KVK rolled around, I could actually do this event at all, and that's an important consideration. So listen, the way I'm going to go about this is partly to hold on to the keys. So I've got over 200 keys for the next KVK, and I haven't spent them all. Just so I've got the minimum 200, and partly to generate the commanders that I'm aiming for. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So the commanders that I'm aiming for, essentially Nevsky and Joan. Okay. Other commanders, you might have other choices of what you're aiming for, and hopefully you've got at least 3 legendary commanders that are already maximized, because I recommend that the other 3 slots are taken up by that, just so that you can get some keys back. But this video is going to be partly an experiment, just to see how many keys we can retain, how many useful commander heads we can get for free, essentially for free in this event. But also, we need some of those keys back again, as I said, just to recycle for the next event. One of those ones in consideration obviously may well be William. I like him at 5-1-1-1. But if you've already got everything else maximized, you might just enhance him a little bit. Who knows? If he makes your team. I did experiments with him. I may well experiment with him again in the future. Who knows? But he went in the team just to experiment for a few days, and I've taken him out of the team. And I've got my John Prime back in rotation. Yeah, I'm not really over enamored with any of the other calves. In terms of infantry, okay, Constantine's amazing. You will listen, I'm not heavily advocating Alex, but I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of fans out there, and for a long time I was a fan as well. He's just not a late game commander, whereas Constantine, for me, you still see him now. I use him myself. And I consider anybody late game who's kind of VIP 17, maybe even 16, but definitely VIP 17, VIP 18, of course. Maybe go with a Constantine. I'm going to put Constantine in anyway, because I want to recycle keys. Obviously, Huan Yu, obviously, and with Scipio Prime. My gosh, absolutely essential. So I do actually own Zenobia. Boudica. So I do actually own Zenobia, and she's my garrison. But as I said, the best garrison strategy is just not to be rallied. You know what I mean? So I don't recommend it. But if you must, then you must. In terms of archers, so a lot of these like specialist kind of rally people, and got the worst commander in the game, or legendary commander in the game, possibly in Edward of Woodstock. I do get down on you a little bit, Boudica, just because there was one KVK where I was just beating up this one commander who had Boudica very easy like paper, but there's nothing wrong with her. She's a 5 out of 5 commander. But I just think there's better commanders out there. Namely Herman Prime and ZL, Zhuge Liang. In terms of leadership, yeah, there's always a place for you. Trajan. I was having a funny back and forth, humorous back and forth about Honda Takashu. Just because I've nearly got him maximized, and should I just kind of like do that little bit more to get him over the edge? I've got 5-5-3-5, and on principle I could get him maximized, but I'd never ever use him, and I still don't recommend him either. So that's a no from me. And lastly, I'm interested in this guy. To be honest, if I was going to play with Siege, and I'm tempted to do another video reminding people that I think early game, whilst you're saving your gold heads, if you're going to invest in anybody, yeah, your Richards, YSG, and possibly somebody like this guy, just so you don't have to overcommit in gold heads and resources, but you can still kind of contribute towards a KVK, especially early on. Maybe this guy if you're very early game, but you have to watch Mr. Siege's video. And I was also thinking what I did when I was very early game. I did a jumper account, and what's that guy's name? There's another YouTuber that specializes in it. Just a second. Yep, he's called the Logic Bank, and I remember back in the day I followed his videos to do a jumper account. A jumper account when you get, I ain't gonna go into it, but you know, you go to a small, you've just started off, you go to a small amount of power, and then you migrate to another kingdom where you are, you know, they're earlier in their development, and you're just relatively powerful, and you just go from there. That's what I recommended. That's what I did. I think possibly with this account. So yeah, some people may well be considering this gentleman right here, but what I'm going to do, for all the reasons mentioned, I'm going to focus on these two, just two commanders where I actually want the heads, and for the rest, I've already maximized them, and I just want to see how many keys I get back, and hopefully, again, it's manageable, and we're going to go now into the free selections. Okay, Deslin Starlight. I remember the days when that would have been crazy necessary. So, you know, I'm not going to hate on it. What we really want, Nevsky and Joan, and the other keys, and the other commanders, just so we can recycle the keys. And we may well change the strategy tomorrow, but for now, this is what we want. Okay, so we've got 20% of keys back, otherwise known as 2 out of 10. Oh, 2 Joan, 1 Nevsky, 1 key back. That's really not awful at all. Yeah, we'll take that. Again, I would. There's other commanders I would have loved to add it to the rotation, but I need to get a percentage of those keys recycled. And we'll see. At the end of today, we'll see if I can add 3 commanders who I want the heads for going forwards. Just yeah, we'll see. Or you'll see at the end of this one if you think, well, I've actually got enough sovereign keys that I can go for more than 2 out of 5, you know, that I actually want the heads for. Go for it. I'm actually doing very well in terms of getting keys back right now, so you know, I may well change it up. Got a Joan. So if I was going to change it up, I would go for say not William, even though I'd be tempted. I've already got the infantry maxed that I would ever want maxed. Archers, say, nah, not really. Not really. And so there's nothing wrong with Boudica. I don't have her, but no, not today. Out of the leadership, yeah, it would only be Trajan, who I've already got. I'm mostly interested in this guy. Don't know. So far with him. Yeah, just for lols. I may well have a future plan for this guy. And I've actually got quite a lot of keys back in the rotation. So for the remaining keys, got 50 keys but left. So we'll just see what we get. And then maybe we'll change it up again tomorrow, back to the 2 out of 5. Oh, we've got the whole, come on, got the whole one. So presumably that's worth 10 individual shards. So that is a massive help. Wow, that's massive help. They're good. So we've got 10% of keys back, otherwise known as 1. And we've got 12 Nevsky shards. Lovely. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, 10% back. I think in the last video I was getting more or less like 20% back, sometimes 30. So, you know, it's not a million miles off. Got 30 more tries. We're going to end up with 150 or more. Okay, so I would have sacrificed. I would have got one additional key back. It's nothing dramatic, is it really? So, yeah, 3 out of 5. I think could probably live with that. 3 out of the 5 commanders, basically the ones I want the heads, is what I'm trying to say. And 2 that I've already got maximised. So I've got 30% back. I'm doing really well, actually. There's 10 attempts left today. I'm doing really well. When I did last video, I was saying I usually got about 4 heads, but I was only getting 3, so maybe I was just really unlucky with that one. And in this video, I'm completely overlooking the fact I've got these 2 8-hour healer speed ups and the resources and the dazzling starlight. So we'll change it up tomorrow when I've obviously got the experience points in the top left as well. So yeah, I will be more attentive to mention those things. So who else could I add? So I don't want to force it. Ironically, Margaret might be the most useful one to kind of add to this one if I was just going to try and do some siege kind of thing, but I'm really a million miles away. And it's not, I don't, for like an end game player, the way that I play and my style of play, I don't really need siege, but I do definitely recommend them. I say, if it was me early game, maybe even mid game, I think siege has definitely got a role, but just not for an end game player. But I think it's definitely still worth the investment and definitely still worth looking at Mr. Siege's videos. I would highly recommend. But don't invest the equipment beyond into legendary. I wouldn't do that. You're going to need that equipment for other things. It's my advice, but you know. It is what it is. Who else could I have then? I say definitely not infantry. I've got them already. The cav. I say technically you, William, but I might just keep it as on principle and keep it as 3 out of 5 that I have not already maximised, and I keep it at that on principle. And I got 30%, but I'm going to end up with loads of keys back. Really no harm in that at all. That's my original strategy, to take the pressure off on the sovereign keys. Obviously, going into the next KVK, instead of having 2 out of 5 commanders that I have not maximised, and indeed going into the second day, instead of 2 out of 5, I'll probably have 3 out of 5, maybe even 4 out of 5. And the third, let's say, if I went 4 out of 5, I'd have probably Margaret in addition to that other Siege Commander. As I say, I'm very happy. I'm very happy, especially when I got that whole Nevsky. Very, very happy indeed. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. We're in a very strong position, so I think keys-wise, tomorrow we'll get that season challenge maximised. Obviously, it's the progress check, which we already know is 100 towards the 200 keys. Please like, subscribe. That is Stephen. I'm out.